I am explaining events in sexual reproduction. All sexually reproducing organisms exhibit remarkably similar events. Sexual reproduction is characterized by the fusion or fertilization of male and female gametes, the formation of zygote, and embryogenesis. Three sequential events may occur during sexual reproduction, namely the pre-fertilization, fertilization, and the post-fertilization events. So, I am explaining pre-fertilization events. The pre-fertilization events of sexual reproduction occur prior to the fusion of gametes. The two main pre-fertilization events are gametogenesis and gamete transfer. Gametogenesis. So, what is gametogenesis? Gametogenesis refers to the process of formation of two types of gametes, male and female. Gametes are haploid cells. Gametogenesis takes place in gonads and involves the meiotic cell division, reducing the chromosome number from diploid to haploid. In some algae, fungi and protozoans, example Monocystis, the two gametes are almost similar in size and form, and it is not possible to categorize them into male and female gametes. They are hence called isogamete or homogametes. However, in a majority of sexual reproducing organisms, the gametes produced are of two morphologically distinct types and termed anisogametes or heterogametes. In such organisms, male gamete is smaller in size, motile, and deficient in stored nutrients called microgametes, that is antherzoid or sperm, and female gamete is much larger in size, non-motile, with stored nutrients called macrogamete, egg or ovum. The union between two such morphologically distinct gametes is known as anisogamy or heterogamy. Now I am explaining sexuality in organism. Sexual reproduction in organism generally involves the fusion of gamete from two different individuals. Plants may have both male and female reproductive structure in the same plant, bisexual, or on different plants, unisexual. In several fungi and plant, terms homothallic and monoecious are used to denote the bisexual condition, and heterothallic and dioecious are the terms used to describe unisexual condition. So, what is the difference between monoecious and dioecious plant? In case of monoecious plant, both staminate and pistillate flowers are borne on the same plant, but in case of dioecious plant, have male staminate flower on one plant and female pistillate flower on another plant. In case of monoecious plant, they have separate male and female flower on the same plant, but in case of dioecious plant, they have separate male and female flower on the different plants. Monoecious plants are more common, example Cara, oak, cucurbits and coconut. Dioecious plants are less common, example Markensia, mulberry and papaya. In angiosperm, the unisexual male flower is staminate, that is bearing stamens, while the female is pistillate or bearing pistils. In some angiosperms, both male and female flowers may be present on the same individual, that is monoecious, or on separate individual, that is dioecious. Example of monoecious plants are Cara, oak, cucurbits and coconuts, and of dioecious plants are Markensia, date palm. As regard to animals, individual of all species, either male or female, that is unisexual, or are species which possess both the reproductive organ, that is bisexual. Sponges, tapeworm, earthworm and leech are bisexual animals. They are known as hermaphrodite. They possess both male and female reproductive organs. Hermaphrodite are either protandrous, protos means first and andros means man. Example clownfish, or protogynous means proto means first and gyne means woman. Example anglefish. In protandry, an animal is a male during its early life history and a female later in the life history. The reserve is true for protogynous animals. Cockroach and human beings are unisexual species. Now I am talking about cell division during gamete formation. Gamete in all heterogametic species are of two types, namely male and female. Gametes are haploid, though the parent plant body from which they arise may be either haploid or diploid. A haploid parent produces gamete by mitotic division. Several organisms belong to Monera, fungi, algae and bryophytes have haploid plant body. The organisms belonging to pteridophyte, gymnosperm, angiosperm and most of the animals including human being, the parent body is diploid. Meiosis, the reduction division has to occur if diploid body has to produce haploid gametes. In diploid organism, specialized cell called meiocyte means gamete mother cell undergo meiosis. I am repeating. Meiosis, the reduction division has to occur if a diploid body has to produce haploid gamete. In diploid organism, specialized cell called meiocyte means gamete mother cell undergo meiosis. At the end of meiosis, only one set of chromosomes get incorporated into each gamete. Now I am explaining zygotic meiosis. Many fungi, many protists and green algae are haploid. They produce gamete by mitosis. These gametes or specialized nuclei fuse during fertilization, producing a diploid zygote which divide by meiosis producing haploid spores. Finally, these develop to multicellular haploid organism. Next, gametic meiosis. All animals, some fungi and some brown algae are diploid organisms. Some specialized cell in these organisms divide by meiosis, producing haploid gametes. These gametes fuse during fertilization event giving rise to diploid zygote which undergo cleavage division, that means repeated mitosis, to produce the multicellular diploid organism. And in case of sporic meiosis, that is also known as intermediary meiosis, in majority of the plants, zygote divide mitotically to produce a multicellular diploid sporophyte. This develops spores through meiosis followed by mitosis, resulting in haploid individuals called gametophytes. The gametophytes produce gamete by mitosis. In some plants, the gametophyte is not only small sized but also short lived. In other plants and many algae, the gametophyte is the dominant stage of life cycle. Now I am explaining gamete transfer. Gamete transfer. After gametogenesis, the male and female gametes are physically brought together by fertilization. In a majority of organisms, male gamete is motile and the female gamete is stationary. Exceptions are a few fungi and algae in which both types of gametes are motile. There is a need for a medium through which the gamete move. In several simple plants like algae, bryophyte and pteridophyte, water is the medium through which this gamete transfer takes place. A large number of male gamete, however, fail to reach the female gamete. To compensate this loss of male gamete during transport, the number of male gamete produced in several thousand times the number of female gamete produced. In seed plants, pollen grains are the carriers of male gamete and ovule have the egg. Pollen grain produced in anther, therefore, have to transfer to the stigma before it can lead to fertilization. In bisexual self-fertilizing plants, example peas, transfer of pollen grains to the stigma is relatively easy as anther and stigma are located close to each other. Pollen grains soon after they are shed come in contact with the stigma. But in cross-pollinating plants, including dioecious plant, a specialized event called pollination facilitates transfer of pollen grain to the stigma. Pollen grain germinate on the stigma and the pollen tubes carrying the male gamete reach the ovule and discharge male gamete near the egg. In dioecious animals, since male and female gametes are formed in different individuals, the organism must evolve a special mechanism for gamete transfer. Successful transfer and coming together of gametes is essential for the most critical event in sexual reproduction, that is fertilization. So now I am talking about fertilization. The most important event of sexual reproduction is the fusion of gametes called fertilization or syngamy, resulting in the formation of diploid zygote. In most aquatic organisms, such a majority of algae and fishes as well as amphibians, external fertilization takes place in the water. Organisms exhibiting external fertilization show great synchrony between the sex and release a large number of gametes into the surrounding water in order to enhance the change of syngamy. The example, bony fish and amphibians. A major disadvantage of external fertilization is that the offspring are extremely vulnerable to predators threatening their survival up to adulthood. In many terrestrial organisms belonging to fungi, higher animals such as reptiles, birds, mammals, and in a majority of plants, example bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperm and angiosperms, fertilization occurs inside the body of organism. Hence, the process is called internal fertilization. In all these organisms, egg is formed inside the female body where they fuse with the male gamete. In organisms exhibiting internal fertilization, the male gamete is motile and has to reach the egg in order to fuse with it. In this event, though the number of sperm produced is very large, there is a significant reduction in the number of eggs produced. In seed plants, however, the non-motile male gamete are carried to female gamete by pollen tubes. Now I am talking about the difference between external and internal fertilization. External fertilization takes place outside the body of female and internal fertilization takes place inside the body of female. A large number of male and female gametes are released in external fertilization, and in internal fertilization limited number of male and female gametes are released. External fertilization takes place in aquatic medium and internal fertilization takes place usually in the body fluid of female. Example of external fertilization are bony fish, most algae and amphibians. And examples of internal fertilization are bryophytes, birds, reptiles, mammals, etc. Now I am talking about the difference between self and cross fertilization. Self fertilization is uniparental, जबकि cross fertilization is biparental. Self fertilization involves the fusion of male and female gamete of the same parent, example tapeworm, liverful. And in cross fertilization, it involves the fusion of male and female gamete of the different parents, example birds, amphibian, fish, cockroach, earthworm, etc. Now I am talking about post fertilization events. Events in sexual reproduction after the formation of zygote are called post fertilization events. So what is zygote? Formation of diploid zygote is universal in all sexually reproducing organisms. In organisms with external fertilization, zygote is formed in the external medium. In organisms with external fertilization, zygote is formed in the external medium, usually water, whereas in those exhibiting internal fertilization, zygote is formed inside the body of the organism. Further development of the zygote depend on the type of life cycle the organism has, the environment it is exposed to. In organisms belonging to fungi and algae, zygote develops a thick wall that is resistant to desiccation and damage. It undergoes a period of rest before germination. In organisms with haplontic life cycle, zygote divides by meiosis to form haploid spores that grow into haploid individuals. So, what is the difference between zoospore and zygote? Zoospore formed inside the zoosporangium and zygote formed by fusion of two gametes. Zoospore usually flagellated and motile, but zygote usually non-flagellated and non-motile or motile. Zoospore is a result of asexual reproduction and zygote is the net result of sexual reproduction. Zoospore may be haploid or diploid, but zygote is always diploid. Zoospore takes part in dispersal, but zygote has little role in dispersal. Zygote is the crucial link that ensures continuity of a species between organisms of one generation and the next. Every sexually reproducing organism, including human beings, begin life as a single cell, the zygote. Now I am talking about embryogenesis. Embryogenesis is the process by which the embryo forms and develops from the zygote. During this process, zygote undergoes cell division, that is mitosis, and cell differentiation. While cell division increases the number of cells in the developing embryo, cell differentiation helps group of cells to undergo certain modification to form specialized tissue and organs to form an organism. Animals can be classified into oviparous and viviparous based on whether the development of zygote takes place outside the body of female parent or inside. That is, whether they lay fertilized or unfertilized egg or give birth to young ones. In oviparous animals like reptile and birds, the fertilized eggs are covered by hard calcareous cells such eggs are termed as cleodic eggs. In viviparous animals, majority of mammals including human beings, the zygote develops into a young one inside the body of female organism. After attaining a certain stage of growth, the young ones are delivered outside of the body of female organism. Because of proper embryogenesis, care and protection, the chance of survival of young ones is greater in viviparous organism. In angiosperm, the zygote is developed inside the ovule. Following fertilization, sepal, petal and stamens of the flower fall off. The pistil, however, persists attached to plant. The zygote develop into the embryo and the ovule develop into the seed. The ovary ripens into the fruit and its wall develop a thick cover called pericarp, which is protective in function. After dispersal, seed germinate under favorable condition to develop new plants.